In this podcast episode with Dr. Gabor Maté, the discussion revolves around the topic of fixing broken people and regaining one's connection with oneself. Dr. Maté emphasizes the importance of early childhood experiences in shaping one's sense of self and authenticity. He mentions that trauma or experiences that disconnect individuals from their true selves can have long-term detrimental effects. These experiences can lead to a disconnection from one's inner voice, causing individuals to engage in people-pleasing and shape-shifting behaviors to seek acceptance from others. Dr. Maté discusses the tension between authenticity and attachment, highlighting the importance of being true to oneself while also seeking connection and belonging. He explains that individuals may struggle to be authentic if they have experienced trauma or have not been accepted for who they are in their formative years. This struggle can lead to a disconnect from one's true self and a constant need to seek approval from others. To regain one's connection with oneself, Dr. Maté suggests paying attention to moments when one is not being authentic. By noticing when one is suppressing their true feelings or desires, individuals can start to understand the beliefs and fears that are driving their behavior. By questioning these beliefs and fears, individuals can strengthen their authentic self and begin to align their actions with their true essence. Dr. Maté delves into the emotions that individuals experience on a daily basis, pointing out that fear, anger, resentment, shame, and guilt are common emotions that people often struggle with. He highlights the role of fear in creating a sense of insecurity and anxiety in individuals' lives. He also discusses the impact of shame and guilt on one's ability to be authentic and connect with their inner voice. By acknowledging and processing these emotions, individuals can work towards healing and reconnecting with their true selves. Dr. Maté addresses the challenge of overcoming fear and finding joy in the midst of suffering and trauma. He emphasizes that individuals have the right to experience joy and happiness, even in the face of adversity. By not allowing past traumas to dictate their present experiences, individuals can learn to embrace joy and happiness without guilt or shame. He encourages individuals to let go of fear and anxiety, allowing themselves to feel safe and secure in their authenticity. Dr. Maté explains that fear is a natural response that alerts us to potential danger. However, when fear is not addressed or resolved, it can turn into chronic anxiety. He discusses how the fear of losing a protective adult in childhood can lead to a sense of chronic anxiety and insecurity. Dr. Maté emphasizes the importance of asking for help when needed. He shares his personal experience of struggling to ask for help and how he learned to accept help when offered. He explains that trying to force help on someone who is resistant can lead to further resistance. Dr. Maté suggests that being open and compassionate towards others without imposing help can create a space for them to seek help when ready. Dr. Maté explores the theme of authenticity in relationships and the fear of disappointing others. He discusses the importance of being true to oneself and honoring one's feelings and boundaries. He shares a personal example of choosing authenticity over people-pleasing and the impact it can have on relationships, and emphasizes the value of honesty and respect in fostering genuine connections with others. The podcast delves into the top regrets of dying people, as highlighted in a book by an Australian nurse. Dr. Maté reflects on the regret of not being true to oneself and prioritizing others' needs over personal fulfillment. He discusses the role of self-expression in living a fulfilling life and the importance of honoring one's emotions and desires. He encourages listeners to embrace authenticity and self-compassion in their interactions with others. Guilt is discussed as a strong driver for actions in the present and future. Dr. Maté explains how guilt can trap individuals into making decisions based on past actions or beliefs. He suggests that releasing oneself from the burden of guilt involves accepting past mistakes and moving forward with self-compassion. Dr. Maté explains that guilt often stems from early childhood experiences where children learn to suppress their desires to maintain acceptance from their parents. While guilt can serve as a mechanism to keep us in line, it can also become a chronic and limiting force in our lives. He emphasizes the importance of recognizing guilt, thanking it for its intention, but ultimately moving past it to live authentically as adults. The conversation delves into the concept of familiar pain versus unfamiliar pain. Dr. Maté highlights how individuals often choose familiar pain, such as staying in dependent relationships or suppressing themselves to avoid the unfamiliar pain of independence. He challenges listeners to consider which type of pain they would prefer and encourages embracing the short-term discomfort of being oneself over the long-term pain of living inauthentically. Dr. Maté distinguishes between rugged individualism, which promotes independence to the point of isolation, and individuation, which allows individuals to be themselves authentically while still belonging in genuine relationships. He emphasizes the importance of being true to oneself while also valuing human connection and vulnerability. The conversation touches on the idea of a hierarchy of trauma, where some traumas are perceived as worse than others. Dr. Maté acknowledges that different individuals experience trauma in varying ways, but he cautions against comparing traumas as it can be unhelpful and dismissive of individual experiences. He stresses the importance of tending to wounds and offering support without diminishing the significance of someone's trauma. Dr. Maté references F. Scott Fitzgerald's quote about the test of intelligence being the ability to hold opposing ideas and still function. He introduces the concept of integrative intelligence, which involves being able to see multiple perspectives and truths simultaneously without rejecting any of them. This type of thinking allows for a deeper understanding of complex issues and promotes empathy and compassion. The conversation continues with a reflection on the broken heart and the ability to hold both brokenness and determination simultaneously. Dr. Maté shares his personal experience of grappling with the horrors of the Holocaust and the ongoing question of how to navigate a world filled with tragedy and suffering. He emphasizes the importance of allowing the heart to break for various events while remaining determined to make a positive impact and offer healing to others. Dr. Maté illustrates how emotional trauma can impact physical health through examples of individuals with conditions like ALS, multiple sclerosis, and autoimmune diseases. He explains that the mind and body are interconnected, with emotions influencing the nervous system, immune system, and hormonal balance. He shares a story of a woman who healed from systemic lupus by addressing her emotional trauma and embracing authenticity, demonstrating the power of emotional healing in physical recovery. Dr. Maté discusses the ancient wisdom of indigenous healing practices that recognize the interconnectedness of physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. He advocates for a holistic approach to health that combines the advancements of Western medicine with the wisdom of traditional healing practices. He emphasizes the importance of balance in all aspects of life for overall health and well-being. Dr. Maté expresses his hope for humanity to awaken to its full potential and embrace a sense of unity and peace. He shares the story of the Buddha's response to being asked if he was a god, stating that he was awake. Dr. Maté believes that humanity has the potential to live in harmony and compassion, free from conflict and harm. He encourages individuals to awaken to their possibilities and strive for a world where all can coexist peacefully and authentically. Dr. Maté encourages individuals to embark on a journey of healing from trauma and illness by addressing emotional wounds and embracing authenticity. He emphasizes the importance of taking steps towards healing and growth, acknowledging the vulnerability and courage required to confront past traumas. His work aims to guide individuals towards a deeper understanding of themselves and their experiences, leading to healing and transformation.